SpaceX assembles world's largest rocket with giant robot arms. Again, Elon Musk and SpaceX are in the news. Elon Musk will not allow anything to set him back in his vision with SpaceX, and there is no limit to what SpaceX will do to set the pace in the aerospace sector. Space is about to welcome the largest rocket ever launched from Earth. SpaceX didn't make it to the news only because of the massive rocket, but also its makeup. SpaceX has successfully assembled the world's largest rocket with giant robot arms. Welcome to your favorite channel, Unlimited SpaceX. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more exciting news about SpaceX projects and Elon Musk's many controversies. SpaceX assembles the world's largest rocket with giant robot arms. How did SpaceX manage this? Will it be like other SpaceX spaceships? Should we be worried about the launch of such a gigantic rocket? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to let us know what you think in the comment sections. Elon Musk is a man of great visions, and he has the money and resources to achieve those visions. He has SpaceX, the #1 aerospace organization in the world. This is the second time Elon Musk's super intelligent company has fully stacked a 2-stage Starship rocket, once again creating the largest launch vehicle prototype ever assembled. The first 2-stage Starship made by SpaceX created a record as the world's tallest rocket. The company planned its newest Starship prototype on its massive booster in 2021. Just 6 months after that fantastic achievement, SpaceX has stepped out again in grand style with another design. This time it's not the tallest rocket, but the world's largest rocket. During SpaceX's first stacking, the stacking test took place at the SpaceX Starbase facility in South Texas, near the village of Boca Chica. Then, Starship SN20, serial number 20, and its Super Heavy booster were mated together. Super Heavy alone stands 230 meters tall, 70 meters, and Starship SN4 added another 165 feet, 50 meters of height. Together they stood a whopping 395 feet tall, 120 meters, taller than NASA's massive Saturn V moon rocket, which was 363 feet tall, 110 meters. This time around, the company used building-sized arms. Building-sized arms? What's that? Building-sized arms can also be called giant robot arms, as we indicated at the beginning of this video. The aerospace space company used building-sized arms installed on Starbase's 145-meter-tall launch tower to lift Starship, which will lift a massive upper stage more than 80 meters, 260 feet off the ground, and lower on top of a Super Heavy booster. The development of SpaceX's largest rocket was also assembled at the SpaceX Starbase facility in South Texas near the village of Boca Chica. This will be the first upgrade on the vehicle in almost 3 years. We don't know the details of what Musk will say, but it'll most likely include details of the first orbital test launch for the next generation rocket. We know that Starship will return humans to the moon and could one day ferry more than 100 people at a time to Mars. We also know that the supposed Starship's first orbital launch that couldn't happen in January will happen in March. So it's possible that SpaceX's Starship will be in action in 2022. As it stands, SpaceX has been reported to have performed a series of apparent troubleshooting and false starts and weeks of proof testing with water bags weighing dozens to hundreds of tons. The giant robot seemed to perform perfectly, pausing only once during the ascent. The robotic arms held Starship S20 for about an hour at the SpaceX Starbase facility in South Texas. The system also extended 2 smaller stabilization arms to the side of the rocket as attachments. Around 10:27 Central Standard Time, the robotic arms, or Mechazilla arms, began to lift the Starship system, and around 20 minutes later, a huge achievement was recorded in SpaceX. The tip of Starship S20's NESA cone was shy of the top of the launch tower, and the lift reached its highest point. Multiple SpaceX drones were seen swarming the rocket to document the milestone. That's not all. At their peak, the launch tower swung Starship about 45 degrees until it was directly above Super Heavy Booster 4's inner stage. The launch tower's Starship Quick Disconnect QD arm, responsible for connecting the upper stage to ground systems, then swung in, partially deploying and grabbing Super Heavy to fully stabilize the booster. The success of the alignment of the 2 massive rocket stages was confirmed when the booster was secured. After the alignment, the tower arms carefully lowered Starship onto Super Heavy's inner stage, where several clamps grabbed onto the ship to fully mate the pair. There have been confusion and rumors about the actual functions of the robot arms when they first made their appearance. Some experts have said that the robot arms can free SpaceX from the significant weather and wind restrictions cranes impose when lifting large objects, such as this mega rocket. This was backed by a theory that giant rigid arms affixed to a mostly immovable tower will be able to prevent high winds from causing starships or super heavy boosters to sway dangerously. With this latest development, the robot arms have come in handy and diffused the objections surrounding it. There has been a doubt that the arms won't be able to lift a 200-plus ton booster off the ground at a height of 50 meters. SpaceX and its robot arms have impressed all and shut the mouths of critics. On the very first try, lifting Starship and stacking it on top of the Super Heavy with the launch and integration tower took just 3 hours from the start of the lift to a fully mated rocket. That's an awesome feat. Also, the company was blessed with the luck on the day of the test that there was minimal wind. It's also impressive just how little uncontrolled movement was visible as Starship hung in the air hundreds of feet above the ground. Reports showed that there was no swaying during the test. This indicated and confirmed that the Mechazilla arms did their job of stabilizing the massive rockets in a situation where even a gentle breeze could make stacking Starship with a crane far too risky. The SpaceX Starship system is made of the Super Heavy booster and the Starship automobile. The first level, which is the Super Heavy booster, fires and offers the Starship the boost it needs to succeed in orbit. Once it's in place, the Starship separates and continues its journey, whereas Super Heavy returns to land on the bottom. Per the latest trend of SpaceX, Starship is also designed to be a reusable launch automobile that might put people on Mars. The Super Heavy is the first level or booster of the next generation launch system. It has a gross liftoff mass of over 3 million kilograms. It makes use of subcooled liquid methane and liquid oxygen propellants. Its height is about 70 meters and has a diameter of 9 meters. Whenever the booster returns to Earth, it'll land on the launch website on its 6 legs. The Starship is the second stage of the system. It's reusable and has a built-in payload part that can carry people and cargo to Earth orbit, planetary locations, and between locations on Earth. It's about 50 meters tall and 9 meters wide. SpaceX started assembling their robot arms in 2021. The company started the project with the Starship QD arm around May. In October, the aerospace began installing the 2 main Mechazilla arms. 3 months after the installation, 3 arms were ready to lift and stack the world's largest rocket. There have been credible reports that there have been works underway on Prototype 21 and 22, as well as future versions of the Super Heavy booster. SpaceX will be launching the gigantic rocket in March as they await the Federal Aviation Administration's approval. It was actually this approval that prevented Elon Musk and SpaceX from opening 2022 with such an enormous achievement. The approval is pending as the Federal Aviation Administration is currently assessing the environmental impacts of SpaceX's initial mission profile and reviewing debris recovery, local road closures in Boca Chica, Texas, where the firm's launch site is located, and other issues. The aerospace companies carried out a few high-altitude test flights with the vehicle. To perfect the rocket and its future versions, SpaceX plans to conduct several test launches over the next few years, all of which will require a permit or vehicle operator license from the FAA. Elon Musk seems to agree with the FAA on this one, as he has not always been happy with the agency. Musk called out the FAA last year on Twitter for its rules regarding space launches that caused a delay in SpaceX launching its Starship Serial No. 9 SN9 rocket. The agency replied that they will continue working with SpaceX to resolve outstanding safety issues before we approve the next test flight. Thank you for watching.